Hello and welcome, developers. My name is Shay, and this is finally another episode of Shay Develops. It's been a little while. I took a small break on making my YouTube videos, but I am back now, and we are going to talk about dates and date times. Really, we're going to go over three Java objects that allow us to manipulate dates and times. We have the local date, the local time, and the local date time. And we're going to start with the date, do the time, and then we're going to do the manipulate or the combined one with the local date time. So let's go ahead and show how we can declare a date using one of two different ways. One allows us to parse a string, and the other one we give it an input with some parameters that says the date and time. So in order to do this, let's just instantiate a date. Let's get the date right now. So we can do local date, and you'll see it imported the java.time local date API for me. We'll just do local date equals local date dot, and now I can add on this with the dot notation, this dot now, and I can mess that up, but then try again and do it correctly, and then print out the local date for me. And this will vary obviously based off of where you are or where the server is being ran at. It will grab the local date for with the user or whoever's on it at the moment, and then we can just output the local date by local date. And of course, if we run this, you gotta wait for it to build for a second. Make sure to get that a little bit bigger for you guys. And then now this ran, and you can see it's the year 2020, July 13th, and that is our local date. So that's one way to do it. You said just specify the date. Dot now, use a method within our local date API. But say we want to be more specific, we could do a specific date. So we could do local date, specific date. Actually, let's just do something like New Year's equals, and then we could parse, or sorry, we could do local date dot parse, and this is where we're going to parse the string, right? So this would be date parsing via a string. So we could do 2021 dash, and you'll notice this this format right here. We're going to keep that same format, the year, month, and the day. So the year will be 2021. The month will be 01/01, and the day will be also the first. There we go. And then we can output that New Year's, and that will output New Year's for us down right here. And this should be fairly easy. They said nothing too complicated yet. And then so you'll notice that we got the year, month, and then day, and then that's New Year's for 2021. All right, so let's do the dot notation method that we can call on top of local date, and then this is where we're going to pass it the parameters we want, like the month, day, and year, not in a string formation. So we'll do local date, and we'll do it of date equals local date dot of, and then now we can pass it the year will be 2020, and then you'll see right up here in year, and then not null month. So we have to have a month. So we could bypass the year and the day, or the but we have to have a month to make this parameter valid. All right, so I messed that up. Nope, not args. Sorry, there we go. Okay, so year, month. Let's pass this. Say it's 02 and then the day of the month, it'll be the 27th. So February 27th of the year 2020. And then we could now output the of date. And once we run this, you'll see that we got the dates working the exact same way. Well, not the we didn't get them working the exact same way, but they basically work the exact same way. Just some different syntax, and you can subtract days and add days based off of. So say you had a free trial, like a 7-day free trial, and you got the time that they logged in, and you wanted to add and easily add 7 days to that time frame. So we could take add time. So we could take the local date and then do dot plus days, and we can add it along here. But we say we wanted to add 7 more days to it. And then now we want to output local date plus 7 local date here, and we should be able to run this now, and it'll add 7 days to our. And it didn't add 7 days this time. We must have to local date. Oh. Resave it back into itself, which maybe you don't want to do that because that's messing your local date. You could add another local date object there and add that to that instead. But this is fine for now. All right, there we go. And see, we've added another 7 days from our local date to our local date plus 7. And that's going to, like I said, allow us, to easily add. We can add days. We could add months, seconds. Really, there's almost anything you can do. You can check to see if a local date is a leap year. That's going to bypass. That's going to send back to you a Boolean. So that's pretty cool. You can see if a date is before or after another date. So let's do an example of that. So let's say we had a function where we passed it in a person object that had that got the date of the person and then determined if they were able to enter the club or whatever. Say it's like a 21 or up. So let's say we have a thing that a method, a function that tests if we have if our person is of age. So we'll just input a date and we'll see if they're of age. So let's go ahead and create a little method down here. We'll call it public is 21. No, you can't do that. 21, and it'll pass us back a Boolean, and we give it a local date and date. All right, so now we've got our local date, and we need to get the date of when somebody would be 21. So let's do local date 21 equals. So we could now do local date dot now dot minus, and we could do minus years. So minus years, we're going to pass it 21 years. Going to enter your value of 21 years. So in order for them to drink, they have to be the date minus 21 years. So we could actually output that in order born before can drink. And then we will test if the date that was sent to us is if they are older than 21 or not. So what we could do is we'll have a boolean, and it'll say is of age. Alright, so we'll do is of age equals the date dot, and we'll do is before 21, and then we will return is of age. And then now up here we can comment out all the stuff at the moment. Let's just do local date person 1 equals local date dot parse. Let's say they were born 1985 11 11, and then we'll do person 2 and 3 2 and 3. And sorry guys, this video is getting a little long, so it's only here about 12 minutes so far. I'll try and speed this up. So let's see, the other person was born in 2010, so they're obviously, we'll just keep on 11/11 because that's not really what's important here, the month. And then we could do this person was born in 2003. We'll test that. All right, so now we can output this or input this date, and we can get, let's go ahead and minimize that and get some output. So we'll do let's actually just go ahead and do an output here within our function. So is of age Right, and then we got person is of age and person is not of age is going to output if is of age equals true or false there, and then we will return it if we wanted to do something with this. So now that we have these three people, we can do is 21 and then we'll pass it person 1, and we're getting an error here. Oh, public. So there we go. Make that static so we can run that within our program here. And we're going to do that, make some copies. 2 and 3. All right, let's print this out. All right. Born before 1999 is 07 013 can drink, and we were testing so the only person was actually is two people are not of age. So if you're not born before 1999, you cannot drink. And then so obviously the person born in 1985 was able to drink, but the person born in 2010 and 2003, they were not able to drink. So we can change this to 1999, this last one. But it should still say no because we haven't reached their birthday of November 11th. Yeah, so they're definitely not of age. But if we were to change this to 0711, This person now should be able to drink. Person is of age. There we go. So now that's how we can test our dates. We do the dot is before, there's a dot is after. We can check its first day of the month. We can actually get the month out of the date, or get the day of the week if we wanted to. So if we wanted to output, say, the day of the week, and I know this video is probably going to get much longer than I expected, but it's hopefully some good information for you guys. So do day of the week, we'll pass a local date, and we will just get the day of the week. So do string day equals, and we can do our date dot. We'll have to use date dot get. There you go, get day of the week. Sorry, I was a little lost there for a second. All right, now that we have our day of the week, let's card type string. I'll just make sure this is. I will cast this to a string. I can't do that, or do I have to do it like this? Alright, so I am not able to do it like that. Alright, so if I want to get the day of the week, though, I need to use not the string class, but the day of the week class. So I can get the day, use the day of the week, and then we can output that with just an S out, day, and then there we go. Now we can come up here and call it, then our function, make that a little smaller. I'm gonna go ahead and comment out those, and then we'll do day of the week, and we're gonna pass it the person 1, person 2, and person 3, and then we can actually see what day of the week they were all born on, if they were real people, obviously. So Monday, a Thursday, and a Sunday. I am going to take the word for that because I don't have a calendar to go back and actually look at it. But that is some pretty awesome stuff you can do with dates. And just like dates, we also have a local time where we can manipulate time. We can do a lot of things like check if there's time between. We can add and subtract time based off of the chrono unit. I know that sounds kind of made up, but the chrono unit, which is a Java object that allows us to set how much forward or minus or forward or back in time that we want to manipulate it. We can give it a time and we can get the hour back, and really do almost anything that you expect yourself that you could do with time. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start messing around with time. So we've got all that done. I'm going to go ahead and comment out this, and we don't really need that anymore. Alright, so I'm going to clean all this up. There we go. So time. So with time, just like local date, we have local time. We can just do local time equals local time dot now, and output the time is local time. And obviously we're going to run this. It's going to tell us what time it is for me right now, which is 17:05, which is absolutely correct. It is 5:05 in the afternoon whenever I am recording this. And say I wanted to add some time to it, I can do local time dot plus, excuse me, it's not add, it's plus, and then I can say I want to add 2 hours to it. So I'll say first is your long amount to add, that's the number that you want to add, and then next is the temporal unit of measurement that we want to do. So basically it's just fancy for saying, do you want hours, minutes, whatever. So we'll do chrono unit, which is our Java object unit of measurement, dot, and we're going to do hours. So now we've added 2 hours to our local time. So we'll also need to do local time equals local time dot plus, and then output again, add 2 hours, and then just do local time and all right, let's go ahead and run this. And I'm not going to go as deep as I did the date, because it's roughly the same. You just have a couple of different syntax, but it's not too bad. Sorry, so the time is 1700, and then we add 2 hours, and that's 1900, and that's military time, and that is absolutely correct. That is working exactly like you would expect it. You do have the same 2 ways that you had the local time to create or local date to create a date. You can do that with the time. So you have the dot parse to parse a string, and then you have the dot of to implement integer values to set a time. So we could do local time dot parse, local time equals local time dot parse, and we could parse 0630 and output the local time is now local time, and that'll output us to 0630. And we could also do local time equals local time dot of, and we'll pass it 7:45, and then we will copy this line real quick and output that again. And let's go ahead and run this, and we should see it add 2 hours, set itself to 6:30, and then set itself to 7:45, which it absolutely did. And we can make that a little bigger for you guys to take a look at that. All right, good. So that's exactly what we were expecting so far, and everything's working pretty good. Now let's go ahead and go to working with the local date and time, which is both date and time. So we're going to just scroll down a little bit, add some more space here. Local date and time. All right, so if we wanted to, like I said, we could do the local date and time dot now, like we saw with the local date and the local time. That'll give us the current date and time. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do local date and time. We'll call it LDT because I don't want to spell all that all the time. And we'll say local date and time dot now, and we'll get the now. We will output the LDT. We'll do current date slash time. There we go. Now we should be able to run this and get our current date and time, which we'll see right here is 2020-07-13 T17, which is just a separator between the our date and time there. Actually has a meaning, but I can't think of it at the time. But you can look that up if you guys want to. I'm going to go ahead and comment that out and go back down here. and do this. All right, so that is setting the local date and time. You can do the also the dot of and parse the string as well, and then you can add days, get the month, a lot of other stuff that you could do before. So let's say we wanted to get the month of a particular date. We could do LDT dot, actually let's do just output LDT dot get get month, and that should output the month for us, which will be July. Absolutely. All right, guys, that is going to be long enough. This is a 25-minute video. I don't want to continue to keep drowning on. A lot of this stuff is a little bit repetitive, but we are going to there's still more to learn about dates and times, as far as, like, working with time zones can be an issue. Daylight savings time can be an issue for those parts of the world that still we need to quit doing that. But there's still more to learn, is basically what I'm trying to get at. And I may make another video on, like I said, on working with the time zones and stuff like that. All right, but until then, guys, sorry I've been away. I've got a lot more. I said I've got some videos coming in. I'm going to be making some more, and I've almost got my website up, and just trying to build it using Java, using Spring Boot actually. But got some stuff coming up real soon, and be excited to share it with you guys. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Have a good night.